Hey, happy Halloween, by the way. Welcome to Terror Zone, the last video I'm doing of Terror Zone. And what's my last video going to be? It's going to be something special, even though I only did one other one, which is Maximo. Go watch that one. I'm doing Resident Evil for the Sega Saturn, because you gotta love Resident Evil. I don't know why I licked that, but Resident Evil for the Sega Saturn. And yes, I did pay. Just so you can all see, it's all complete in box. Look at that, all Resident Evil, and I paid $55 for this thing. Is it worth it? Let's dive on into the review and find out.
Horror games have come a long way. Now we have games like Dying Light and The Evil Within to scare us and terrify us. But with that said, where did it all start? The answer? Alone in the Dark. Well, I'm not here to talk about that dead franchise. What was the game that really popularized horror? Resident Evil. Before we had 15,000 shitty movies and a game series as incoherent as a Primus album, we had one game. One cheesy 90s horror game. Resident Evil. Today I'm looking at Resident Evil on the Sega Saturn because, you know, I'm a Sega fanboy and all. The Saturn version isn't really too different from the PS1 version. And yes, I did pay out the ass for this copy. But if you collect for Saturn, you always pay out the ass for anything. So, Resident Evil, the first one. It's a game. I have fond memories of this game. My first time playing this was actually the DS port Deadly Silence, and it's a pretty good port. So no, this wasn't my first Resident Evil game. My first Resident Evil game was actually Resident Evil 4. But after playing 4, I immediately went back and played the whole series, starting with this one. You know what I love about this game? I love the voice acting.
You saved me!
Yeah.
I love how cheesy the voice acting is, how each character reads their line like they haven't spoke English language in their life. And I love the color. Who would dare make a horror game this colorful in this day and age? It rivals Sunset Overdrive in the color department. And we all know the story. Mansion, zombies, go. But that's not why you're here. That's not why you're ever at Resident Evil. You're hitting this game for two reasons. Bad voice acting and scares. This game has both in spades. Resident Evil holds up surprisingly well for a 90s horror game. The music and presentation have this cheesiness to them that I enjoy and that no game has really been able to capture in the modern era. It can still be scary when it wants to, and funny at other times. You get a large array of weapons to take down the infected. Classic Resident Evil. You gotta love it. And there's a lot of management and puzzles, you know, like classic Resident Evil. The tank controls are a little hard to get used to, especially in this day and age, especially after playing the Resident Evil remake. But it's still okay. You just have to kind of reset your mind to get back into that mindset. But from what I can tell, the Saturn version doesn't really add anything that the other versions don't have, except for like one extra tyrant at the end of the game. So do I really think this version is necessary? No. But if you are a Sega fanboy like me, I bought this copy complete in box for $55, and that wasn't online. That was at a store. So I would say maybe look for it. It's not too hard to come by. Online, that is. But, you know, it's a cool port to have. And I love Resident Evil. I'm a huge Resident Evil fanboy, so I would totally recommend Resident Evil 1. Yes, the Saturn version is a little expensive, but you could find it on the PS1 and DS easily, so go for it. And, you know what, have a little fun with good old Barry Burton and his jail sandwiches.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.
Turbo Zone.